You get what you focus on, so focus on what you want. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Focus does not mean saying yes. It means saying no. We'll be using the aforementioned quotes as our guidelines for today's topic. And whether you agree with them or not, I hope you'll be so kind as to lend me your attention for a few short minutes as I set the stage for you, actually, this time, to tell me how you think what we will be discussing today relates to those three quotes. This will no doubt be one of the key ingredients in helping you focus on one of the main elements that your doubt... This will no doubt be a key ingredient in helping you focus on one of the main elements upon which your success and happiness and fulfillment depends oh so heavily. Here we go. Oh, if you didn't get that, we're talking about focus. Welcome to Lessons from the Mundane, or LFTM, the show where you and I are able to glean life-giving lessons from everyday things all around us, otherwise known as the mundane. My name is Jason, or you can call me Jace, your humble host for these next few minutes and a fellow believer in living a life of abundance and fulfillment, something I truly desire to share with you. So let's get right into it. Do you know how amazing your eyes are? That's our mundane focus. Your eyes. We use them all the time, but we don't really give it much thought, do we? Try this out. Find something that's legible, like on a wall, or put a piece of paper in front of you on the table, and then place your finger in your line of sight between the two, like so. All right? Doesn't have to be really close or extremely far, just in somewhere in between. If you focus on your finger, it almost looks bigger than what's in the background. Whatever is behind it might get blurry, and even depending on the distance, it might split in two. Can't read anything that way. But now with your finger still up, I'd like you to focus on the words behind it. The image of your finger should split up, and assuming both eyes are fully functional, you should be able to read everything behind it clearly. So what does this tell us using our three earlier quotes as a reference? Okay, I'm going to have to zoom through this, so stay with me, guys. I promise it will be worthwhile. Imagine that you're blessed with a gifted singing voice, but your childhood is riddled with being put down in other areas where you didn't quite do so well. So now you've grown up and have yet to address that lack of affirmation, which has given birth to not only apprehension, but a suspicion towards anything that looks like positive reinforcement. Childhood insecurities? Finger. The many people that you've come across that have heard you sing? Paper. They could be telling you amazing things like, wow, your voice is such a blessing. You're so gifted. You should get a vocal coach and pursue this. You've got something good going. And what's your reaction? Dismissal. Under the pretense of humility, we refuse to genuinely accept that we could do any good for anyone. So while our voice could be changing people's lives for the better and helping others get through the worst of days, that's all happening in a blurry background. You know what that means? You see something shifting back there, so you know there's movement. That equates to every single time you hear people telling you that you're doing a good job and that they're proud of you. But just like that blurry background, you can't make out if it's truly good because you're so focused on that finger, on the areas in which you've deemed yourself as not good enough. If you agree with that assessment, say, I agree. If it just sounds familiar, say, ouch. Now, it's time to take action. There are no penalties for not doing so, but if you'd like to share with me your take on one or all three of the earlier quotes that we mentioned as far as it relates to this example that we just talked about, then I'd love to see that in the comments, or even if you'd like to generate an example of your own, as long as it uses one or all three of those quotes right there, then I'd love to see where your mind's at. I'll be putting the quotes back up at the end of the video for reference. But for later, take this example you just heard and insert something that resonates with you. This may take having to dig through some memories you've long since buried, but guess what? Believe me when I say that any discomfort you may feel from having watched this video, as long as you put action to its contents, will pale in comparison to the relief and fulfillment you'll get when you finally meet the next you. And to think this all started with eyeballs. So yeah, though they be mundane, their lessons forever remain. My name is Jason, or you can call me Jace. This was Lessons from the Mundane, or LFTM, and I speak favor and fulfillment over your life. I pray this week will be the first of many where you strut about with your shoulders square and your chest out, having gained a new focus. Having said that, I'll be seeing you.